Ask everyone to stand, pledge the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of claims.
I'll make a motion to approve claims, and I'll second that.
Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Approval of minutes for the December 29th and January 6th meeting.
I'll make a proposal, we approve them. I second the motion.
Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay. Nate, you're up.
I just got one thing. April 9th through the 11th is the Indiana Marshals Association Conference. It's in Indianapolis. I haven't been to one ever since I've been the Marshal, and believe it or not, it's be 6 years this July.
Really?
So the conference is, the hotel is $333, the membership is $50, and the conference is $75. So $458. And I think that should be really close to what the amount is for just that. But and then yeah, so I just wanted to see if you guys would approve me going to that training.
I have no problem with it either. I think it's good to do. So I move we approve a marshal attending the Indiana Association Conference. I'll second the motion.
Any further questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. That's all you have?
That's all I have.
Thank you. Jerry, you got anything?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, eventually we're going on the budget. We're going to have to get in the budget for a newer sand truck, because that's 25 years old. Matt wore it out. Well, Matt had it done, but the blade on it, I've got it cracked in 8 places and broken 2. So
Have you looked for any?
no, I just want to get it wired up. Eventually we're going to have to get one. Then I got 2 quotes to get new blades for the Dodge plow truck. One's 67.71, and the other one is 432 for new blades and caps. So
400 and something.
yeah,
Okay.
one's W.A. Jones, the other one's in Michelle Todd out in Nebraska.
Okay.
That I deal with.
But the equipment we have now will probably make it through this winter?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just
Just
let you get aware.
TLC.
But
Okay.
yeah, on the blade on the red truck, I showed it to you, but yeah, it's about wore out.
Yeah.
You know, I got 9 manholes I hit, and you got 6 streets that's rougher than Cobb, you know, so it just beats them to death.
It
You
does.
know, I just,
The longer you wait, the more expensive it'll get, so when you and Heidi can
hopefully one
come
of
to
these
a
days we'll
conclusion, I would say.
get the audit done
Okay.
and be able to get some new asphalt down.
Yeah.
That all you have?
That's it, bud.
Okay. Does Ralphie have anything?
Ralphie has a quote here for $663 for, it's a diaphragm that goes into, I had him explain it to me, but I'm not very technical. It says
Pretty sure it's the controllers for the backs.
that goes
Yeah,
into
I
a
know.
tube. It's like,
Diaphragm.
Diaphragm
Yeah.
on the controller.
can you, okay.
We kind of know what it is.
Alright.
Not yet.
It's-
I'm working on it. I know it's in there.
He has 2 that need replaced immediately. He has a quote for 6. This is something he stated that will not work without this part.
I do know that.
You do know it won't work without that part.
So this is so we have
so that
backup.
we have backup 2
Excellent.
to replace and then
Yep.
4 on the shelf.
They're a pretty critical component.
And so that is a quote from Airvac, so he needs approval on that. And He also said that we will probably have more sledge hauling next month due to the fact that it's not settling due to the cold. It doesn't work as well in cold.
Right.
As it does. And so that's what Ralphie has, and here's
Okay.
that quote if you wanna look at it.
Do you wanna make a motion?
I make a motion to approve the purchase of the pump diaphragms.
And I'll second that motion.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Who's talking for Stouter? Anybody?
Right
Or
here.
Dustin?
Okay, Dustin?
Alright. Everything seems to be going well. I mean, these water meters are breaking, and we do have a surplus of, I say, probably 40 brand new ones down there. But we don't really have like a protocol to fix these things. But we do have options, and it's just going to take parts, and like it's what, like $500 for all the internals, the freeze plates, and the gasket that breaks, because that's what it's designed to do.
Okay.
But when they break, we don't have nothing to replace them.
Oh,
So either we need to, get these parts and get up some kind of payment program with the people that meters break, or do you just want me to start switching out broken meters with brand new ones?
So how it was explained when the gentleman from Zenner came in, they are designed for this freeze plate to break when they freeze
Right.
and they come off. So that can be fixed as a maintenance with less cost to our residents as opposed to
A whole new.
a whole new meter. Do we want to hold on to the meters that we have because we have so many, or do we want to buy some more parts and just fix
broken
the meters and then we have the extra ones that we need?
Well, you'd have to put a meter on to take the other one off to fix it, wouldn't you?
Not really.
Oh, okay,
You just
well, we
look it
need to
over.
get some parts then, I would say.
It probably
Because
depends.
it's 4 bolts on the bottom.
Right.
All that's like designed to break when they freeze.
Right.
That way it don't blow the gears and all the
Okay.
metering up the top.
So
So-
we already have a bunch of on standby, at least
We
you don't have a
do.
stockpile of parts.
We do not.
I think we need parts because there's gonna be different levels of repair.
And I mean, I didn't really know, like, do you want me like ripping apart new meters for parts?
No.
Do you want me
That's what
I
we
mean,
warranty.
yeah, I haven't. But I mean, even if those break though, that's not a warranty because it's designed to
Oh,
do
no, I'm
that.
talking about when you take a new one and take it apart.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't. I mean, I've been struggling, but right now we don't have any of the gaskets. We don't have any of the
How
internals.
expensive are the parts?
For
You know?
everything, I think it was like 5 something. You got the
500, I do
570,
the quote.
but like what I was
So that was how many? 15?
enough to fix 15
Enough
meters.
to fix 15.
Oh,
A meter itself is about 150.
What's
so you're
our,
talking about $50 a meter to fix.
as opposed to 100?
Something like it's around.
And what's the failure rate? Are there a lot of them failing?
We've had several
Lately, we've had,
Trailer park or
trailer
are there
parks.
ones in pit, they're in pits? That's where they're at.
No.
They're in
Under
people's
trailers.
houses?
Under trailers.
Oh, under trailers.
Under trailers, we had one at Hillbilly Tire.
mhm.
How many parts do you have to order at a time? Like a dozen?
I think 15 was the minimum.
The minimum. We went with the lowest amount that
Think
we
that-
could
So you're
order.
talking $750? At
Oh,
$50
let
a
me-
piece, times
I
15?
can get the quote. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you don't have to worry about that. It's just the ballpark
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah,
I believe
I
it was
believe it
500. It was
five something.
500.
It was less than. It wasn't 6.
It wasn't
All
for
right.
to
I think
order.
we need to order them.
But then what I was thinking, we just divide those parts. I'll charge, and once I get hit with that bill, maybe give them incentive to.
Have you ever heard of self-limiting heat trace? It's a type of heat tape
The
that
heat tape.
it doesn't. You can cross it over and it won't burn. It only has electricity where it's cold.
Yeah.
So it only works when as it gets colder, the resistance goes up, and that's where the heat comes from.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe you could do something like that, but you need to correct the source of the problem. They need to be in an insulated
but that's
box
on the
or heated box.
homeowner. That's
not-
not.
It
that's
is.
not
I know, but
our-
I'm just saying recommendations for how to fix
Right.
it.
Oh yeah.
Because otherwise it's going to keep costing them money. That'd be an incentive. If we give them ideas to do that and help them out with where to go with it,
Oh yeah.
I think that would be helpful. But I don't know if you have to talk to the
I
owner of the
tried
park
to.
or whatever.
I try to talk to the homeowner or whoever's renting the place because that's where we've been having most of our issues.
Sure.
Trailer
Well,
park.
maybe just a letter to them, say here,
Right.
try. So
Need a motion
Oh, we've
to
talked to
that effect,
Suzanne.
ordering parts.
I'll make a motion, we order parts to fix meters.
I'll second that.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Tiffany,
I have
you was
nothing.
done?
I jumped the gun.
Yeah, I actually need to ask for because I got the first set of my Suncoast training done and my certificates, but there's like plenty more that I need. So I was gonna ask for permission to get my next set of Suncoast classes for my licensing.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
It's
So
like,
we have to-
it'd be like $300 for my next two. So I got my first two done already.
Yeah. That's pretty
So,
good. Well, I move we approve funding your
and
next
I'm
set.
pretty sure there's a grant that you're gonna get, so you're gonna get most of this funding back. So,
I'll second that motion.
To move to pay for his next set of training. And second.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now what do you got?
yes, sir.
Okay, Tiffany.
I have nothing for you.
Oh,
We have slowed down. So,
Heidi Ho.
why.
yeah.
Just work it up to Kurt's pile.
That file, yeah, I got a file.
Okay. So, I just had a couple questions that got brought up. With all of the utilities, and this may be more of a Kurt question, on when they need parts, is there an amount that we have to get above a certain amount, or do we get approval for everything, or is there an amount that if it's under this amount, we can go ahead and get it?
Good question, and unless you have a policy or an ordinance that says to the contrary, which I don't know. So if there isn't one, then really, as long as it's budgeted in an approved budget or an additional appropriation, technically you don't have to get their prior approval. They just process it as part of the claims procedure. The only other issue is if you go over the amount, which of course you won't, it's 50,000. If you go over 50,000, then there's a requirement to seek not bids, but quotes through the RFQ process. So, and there's a whole way to do that. You've got to mail it out 7 days prior and blah, blah, blah. So unless you're going over 50,000, and unless you've got an ordinance to the contrary that says something about people are limited, if there's a budgeted amount and it's in your approved budget or in your additional appropriation, the superintendent has the authority to order it. Now, politically, they always want to make sure they're not doing something that offends the council, because of course, even if it's in their budget and they go buy something the council is upset about, the council could deny the claim, and now we got an issue going on. So there is a good relationship reason why they should communicate, but there is no legal reason why an approved budget and a department head can't order something within that. You know,
So if
that
they come
makes
in
sense.
with an emergency, we don't have to
Absolutely.
call a special meeting,
Absolutely.
it's broke. Because I do feel like, and you can ask them, I always, when they come to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
I try to be very open with the council, so I have them, I like them to share, if that way, if they have questions, they know what's going on. Okay,
Yeah,
The last time we waited, the part jumped a lot.
Yeah, if there's a budgeted amount and there's a need, especially if it's an emergency,
right.
the department head can order it.
Mhm.
The only blowback they're gonna get is here. If the council determines or believes that the need was I guess,
An emergency.
emergency, or if maybe they didn't seek additional quotes, or, there's always those kind of political dilemmas back and forth between the employee and the employer. But legally, if they budgeted it, they have the legal right to order it. Doesn't mean it doesn't upset them, so that's why you wanna have dialogue.
Sure.
I don't think any of our employees would order stuff without at least asking Heidi.
Right.
And
And
that's,
Heidi always corresponds with us, so I think it's working good.
Yeah.
But now they don't have to wait, that's the thing.
Yeah.
what she can't do, and Heidi knows this, and I'm saying this more for your benefit than you, she can inform you, you just can't deliberate or make a decision outside of a meeting, so,
Right.
and she knows that, so, yeah. I don't know if that's a long-winded answer to your question.
Yeah.
And we had talked before the meeting, our, policy book
Yes.
states when we go on trainings that we're allowed to spend a reasonable amount, say for meals. And I don't know if you wanna elaborate on
Yeah,
where
that's-
we went with that.
So the idea behind that is that you don't nitpick breakfast, lunch, dinner, you got $8 for breakfast, $10 for lunch, and $42 for supper or whatever. The idea is to give your employees a reasonable amount of leeway for them to use and be reimbursed for meals when they're on town business. For example, Nate's convention or whatever he's going to. And so what is reasonable? It's in the eye of the beholder, but ultimately you're approving the claims. So I think they should have you give them some indication as to, I don't think maybe you do, but I don't think you want to start talking about how much for breakfast, how much for lunch, how much for dinner. But there ought to be a reasonable number that is not to exceed that they can use and know that they're going to have get reimbursed for when they go on behalf of the town, whether it's $50 a day, $100 a day. So have some dialogue about that and give Heidi and Nate and others that are listening some guidance on what you think is reasonable for them to expend for a day's away
Right.
of eating.
Well,
And remember, no alcohol gets reimbursed, I know.
right, yeah. So typically your meals will, when you're out in the city or something, 15 or 20 bucks at least. And 3 times that is 60, so I'd say at least 75 or 80 a day for allowance. That way there's not a requirement for 3 meals if you don't want to eat 3, but you can eat what you want. And, does that sound workable to you guys?
I mean, I think
I think I can eat pretty good for that.
pretty good.
What's the smorgasbord?
No, I can eat pretty good for that.
But if you think it needs more, I don't have a problem with it, but that's just my guess.
I think 100 is just a good round
Yeah,
number
okay.
because sometimes, depending, you might end up at a nice place for dinner that is more than $15.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's way more
Yeah,
expensive than that.
Yeah.
Maybe a motion to authorize up to $100 a day for meal reimbursements while they're on town business and these conventions, et cetera.
Okay.
It would be consistent with the manual, it would be something that you could do to give guidance.
Okay, well, so moved. I can't say it much better than you just did, so.
I'll second the motion.
Any further questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay. I have an invoice from State Board of Accounts that we have not been able to take care of as of yet from the previous audit. And I had spoke with a gentleman there and he would like us to sign a promissory note and start making payments on that. They gave us 3 options, 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months. And I have that with the amount of the payment that would be that we would have to pay each month
Okay.
towards that invoice,
What's
So-
your recommendation?
the 36 months,
So the principal is the 10,000 here?
correct?
Okay,
And you can pay it off early, she knows
Sure.
that too, it provides for that, so, with no penalty, so.
all right.
Yeah.
George, okay, all right.
So I
Take
just
the
wanted to,
recommendation.
I make a motion, we approve the 36-month payment to State Board of Crimes.
And I'll second that.
Any further questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
okay, and speaking of State Board Accounts, they did reach out to me. They are planning on trying to be back in the office anytime. He talked about last week possibly this week. They changed the auditors out. The two ladies that will be here will no longer be here. It will be a gentleman that worked on the previous audit, and he will be coming back. And I believe he'll be back this week or next. I'm still in communication, but at least we have that dialogue open again with them coming back, because towards the end of the year it was silence. So hopefully we're still moving forward on that. Would like to go ahead and get approval, if you approve it, for training for myself March 7th through the 12th. It's the International League of Municipal Clerk Treasurers Institute and Academy in Plainfield. And for myself, and then for myself in Tiffany in July 12th through the 16th. The same ILMCT, their annual conference, and those do include, both of those trainings have State Board of Accounts called meetings that I am required to go to, not the full time, but I do feel like these trainings have benefited me, and I would like to continue those. So the first one for myself, and then the second one for Tiffany and I, if I can trick her into going with me again this year.
Well, I think it's necessary today, and a good thing, so I'd like to present a motion that we approve that training for both of those time periods.
I'll second that motion.
Any further questions, discussion? Will we have Brenda be able to work?
We will reach out to Brenda to keep the office
Don't
open.
wait.
She has actually reached out for me, and she would like to come back and help
Really?
us as soon
Wow,
as
that's great.
possible.
Okay.
So, and I've also worked with Lori in LaGrange, and she helped me with the W-2s and getting all of that filed with the state. Therefore, we didn't have to pay someone besides me to do that this year. So we got those
Excellent,
completed.
good work.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All, motion carries.
And then I just wanted to inform you that I sent the last bit of paperwork to Selective over the claim for the hydrant. So they should be figuring that out soon. So hopefully we will get some reimbursement on that. And then the last thing, this is kind of a happy thing that Tiffany and I, we had a donation from a company in LaGrange County that gives us a donation every year to just help people that may need help on their bills. And we went through with the help of Jerry and Tiffany, because she works with all the bills, and we were able to give 6 people some assistance on their bill this month.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's
So,
great.
and that's all I have.
Okay, Kurt?
Okay.
I better turn this over.
I think the first thing is just to get out of the way. I have an ordinance for you. Heidi and Ben and FSG in our office and me have worked on for quite a while in a rush to get the town in a position where it can make its payroll through some interfund loans. And there's additional extra, I shouldn't say extra, there's money in the sewer department that is allowed to be borrowed and repay it according to the schedule you have in front of you, unless, of course, we can repay it earlier if we need to. But in order to make payroll, basically, this is an ordinance that would ask you to consider approving immediately, effective immediately, and that it also requires a waiver of second reading. So if you have any questions, let me know. But basically, it's a temporary loan warrant from the sewer to the general so that Heidi can make payroll.
Okay.
So this is the actual original, so you can, what you have is the same,
Okay,
but
yep.
just make sure that that one, if you approve it, gets signed.
Okay, all right. And we can vote on this tonight.
You can do it right now, whenever you're ready. You can discuss it, talk to Heidi if you have questions about financial issues, but we basically have
You familiar with what's going on?
gone back and forth with
You took some
Charlie.
paperwork
Yeah.
they sent.
And so thankful for you giving Heidi the ability to allow us to interact with FSG. It's, I don't know what we do without them right now.
Yeah.
I know it's
You're right.
expensive, but it is critical given
Sometimes you
the
have to do that.
situations we're in, yeah.
Well, I think we're all familiar with this. I approved, I move that we approve ordinance number 2026-02-03,
I think it's A is how you do things here, right?
whatever that number will be,
I left it blank.
Yeah.
for loan money from the sewer works to the town general fund.
I'll second the motion.
Any further questions, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. You want this one signed?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I waiver second reading, and then Steve, when you get it, if you can put that capital A on there at the top of
Okay.
this original, I'd appreciate that.
Jeff, you want to move?
Motion to waive second reading.
I'll make a motion to waive second reading.
I'll second that.
All those in favor of waiving second reading, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Heidi?
There's only one place to sign?
Oh, there's two.
Two.
Yep, sorry.
Okay.
You'll get it back. And just don't, did you put the A on there?
I did.
Okay, thank you. I should have done that. Didn't think about it when I came. So I think the next thing, I'll end on some good news, but we'll go to the less than great news next. So we have 4 ordinances for you to consider, not tonight, unfortunately. And these are ordinances that will be heard on March 16th. And they're A, B, and C, and D. And there's also notices for Heidi to, and she's aware of all of this, and I'm sure Tiffany is too, and FSG, and this is for your hearing. And your hearing, just to refresh everybody's memory, and for those that might be watching online, with your approval, is to be scheduled tonight for March 16, 2026, at 5 o'clock p.m. at the gymnasium of Wolcott Mills Elementary School at 108 East Meyer Street, Wolcottville, Indiana. So as long as that is accurate, first thing I'd like you to do is a motion to set the hearing for that day on the rates for the sewer and the water department.
I make a motion to set the hearing for the water and sewer for March 16th at 5 p.m. at Wolcottville Middle School.
I second that.
Questions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, and with that, we need to have in the minutes and formally an introduction of the 2 ordinances. So I am going to formally, on the record, introduce ordinance number 2026-03-16-A, as well as 2026-03-16B, as well as 2026-03-16C, and 2026-03-16D. C and D are housekeeping ordinances. They are not rate ordinances, so those ordinances are not subject to publication, but we are including them in the packet because they are ordinances that are housekeeping to basically address utility billing issues that have occurred over the years and that we're going to try to get in order. For instance, Heidi is thinking about the possibility of doing coupon books, which are a great idea, and things like that, which we don't have in our current, well, we do, but the point is that these other 2 ordinances, which are not the rate ordinances, C and D are not the rate ordinances. They have a bunch of housekeeping matters to make sure that we're billing properly, collecting properly, deposits if we need them, et cetera, and all that administrative matters are contained in those 2 C and D ordinances. A and B are in fact the rate ordinances. A being for the wastewater, sewage rate, and B being for the water. And both of those are consistent with the financial advisors' rate studies that you've already had, and they are all cost-based, fair, and equitable. So the rates that are in these, which you'll have a hearing on March 16th, and there'll be opportunity for people to speak and dialogue, and the rate consultant will be there, as well as hopefully the engineer. Our office will be there, of course, Heidi, and if there are questions, we can hopefully address them. The idea, though, is for people to have an opportunity before then to come and make a copy of this if they want to read it themselves. So that's the point of introducing them tonight, is so that people should have at least, if not actual knowledge, constructive knowledge, and they'll get notice that they have the ability to come and get these documents if they want to read them. So they can't, at least they can say, but they can't say with any credibility that they didn't have an opportunity to read these ordinances. Because they're gonna be here, they're gonna be introduced tonight, they're publicly available for people, and subject to reasonable notice given to the ladies, they can have copies made for them, or they can come in and inspect them, whatever. So, with all that said, a motion to introduce these ordinances is something I would like you to have for the record.
Okay, I move that we introduce the ordinances that were mentioned before
And make them available for public
and
inspection.
make them available for public inspection.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, and I'm gonna formally hand these originals, we didn't staple them that way, the ladies can copy them for people if they want them, to Heidi. She has them now, and she can make copies for people that ask about it. She knows what she's gotta do as far as getting notice. We'll help her with the newspaper, but at some point, she also has to notify the people at the lakes. That's a requirement because they're out of town. And I know that's confusing to people, but the statute says she has to do that. She doesn't have to give notice to the people in town, but I think that the effort is going to be made to do that regardless, some way or the other. So we'll leave that to her, how she wants to handle that in the end, but the only ones we have to deliver to are the people that live out of town, and that's just the way the statute reads.
But we'll do everybody.
Yes, but we don't wanna acknowledge that legally, because if somehow or whatever we got forgotten or something, we don't wanna we don't wanna put ourselves in a position where we can't adopt the rate ordinance if you choose to adopt it after the year.
Right.
So, I think the biggest thing that I wanna talk about is rules for the public.
Okay.
You don't have to have any rules, and you can have a free-for-all, and that's up to you all. But if you want some kind of decorum, so that everybody gets an opportunity to speak and not just have a big fight on our hands like we've had in the past in other situations, it would be good to at least dialogue and debate, discuss, and at some point hopefully approve some basic rules. How long per person, and making sure that everybody that speaks has signed in and given their name and address, because if we need to, if there's any kind of legal challenge, we want to go back and be able to see who's there and who wasn't, things like that. So basic thoughts are, do you want to have rules or no? If you want to have rules, let's set those tonight, and that will be something that can be communicated when people call and have questions about how's this going to work. You've got, we think, I don't know, 1,000 customers or so, probably. So if you figure a third of them will show up, you're going to have 300 people. That's why you have the gym. And maybe you won't, but maybe you will. You can't let everybody talk for 15 minutes. It's just not practical, and not only for you, but for the other people attending.
Right, the other people want to talk to us.
5 minutes, too much? That's what
I think it is.
2.
Usually it's 2 to 3, but you can make it whatever you all want to do. It's just, if you think about it, 300 people, 5 minutes, I can't even do that at math in my head. That's 1,500
minutes. Yeah.
That's a long day.
That's a week.
Yeah.
I would recommend 2 minutes, but that doesn't preclude them doing a follow-up. That would be with time allowable.
That is up to you, and that's a good
Yeah.
point. And this is discussion, right? So we're trying to develop. So let's just talk about that rules. 2 minutes, I'm just writing things down, follow up, and then what about, do you allow them to assign their time to somebody else? These are just questions, because sometimes people get creative and they say, I give my time to John or Jane or whatever.
Sure.
And then do you also say, if there are people that are going to say the same thing, that there's really is there utility in having people say the same thing over and over? I don't want these rates because it's too much. And that's what you're going to hear, and I would guess, even though they're cost-based, fair and equitable. by definition and by the study.
I think if somebody wants to talk, they ought to talk for themselves, not let somebody else talk for them.
So you would advocate not allowing others to be
Right.
assigned their 2 minutes. Well, it's fair. That's what you guys, I need your help to know what those rules are, because what we want to do is post the rules
Right.
at the time
Yeah.
of the hearing, so people can at least see them before they come in the door.
Or if they
If they
sign
call.
in, can we give them
Yes,
just a handout
absolutely.
when they sign in so they
Anything,
have them?
yes. And there should probably be a sign-up table going into the room,
Yeah.
because otherwise
Absolutely.
you don't have a place to, if everybody just, and you probably want to be there early-ish. You know, if it starts at 5, maybe be at
Maybe a half hour.
4 or 4:30.
Yeah.
There's 2 entrances to the gym.
You're gonna have 2, all right.
We're
No.
gonna use one, we won't
We
use
need
the
to
outside
use
one.
one, but if you have so many people, do we have to have the other one open for fire rules?
Well, they can get out from the inside.
You can.
Yeah.
Panic bars and stuff, yeah.
So we got 1 to go in and 2 to go out, so that's good. And then I know we're just still talking, I hope we have a police presence, I know Nate's gonna take care of that. I don't know if he needs additional officers from the county or somebody, but it'd be something just to have. This has been a strange year, things happen in these type of settings.
Well, people need help too. There's all sorts of issues that happen that you.
I don't think it's a state police issue.
Yeah.
Will this hearing be videoed too?
Yes, it has to be live streamed, good, which may deter some from coming, but the dilemma is they can't speak through it. They
Well,
can watch
if
it.
you just want to observe, that's
Yeah.
what you do.
Right.
Yeah, right. Because a lot of people, that's what they would like
Exactly.
to do. Yeah,
And yes,
that's great.
it will be.
And
And
they'll be
I
written
think she's
comment.
got Sam Lovelace working on that right now.
I've already spoke with
Yeah.
him about getting it set up correctly so that we can arrange things.
What was the date again?
It's March 16th, 5 p.m.
And what about, and then we'll have written comments too.
Yeah, we can always accept written comments, and that would be great.
Yeah.
Then,
It's more concise.
plus
You don't have to,
you can really take them under advisement. It's harder to do that when somebody just stands up there and yells, "These are too expensive, and I don't want to pay them." And
yeah.
I know you're going to hear that. So
Do they have a microphone we can use? We'll need one of those, portable one, to talk to, let people talk.
And did you say something about a
Podium.
podium?
Yeah.
Microphone.
I know
podium.
That Sam said they have a podium at Wolcottville. I'm sure that if I speak to him, he would probably be able to come up with a microphone.
Well, if they don't, Strasser has a portable one that's
Yeah.
been used
The
before.
wireless ones are nice because you can
Yeah,
pass
that's
it
what
around.
he's got.
That's what to do.
So I'm just kind of taking notes and thinking out loud. There should be a sign-in table. There should be rules posted, probably. There should be an announcement at some point of all this at the time before the hearing actually starts, probably by Dean, or if he wants to delegate that to one of you or me, I don't care. There should be, the person that speaks, of course, should announce their name and address. Yeah, I agree. In theory, a couple minutes, you can decide. The real question is there gonna be some kind of a clock? Is there gonna be I don't know, so a timekeeper? Because if you don't have a timekeeper, what's the point of saying 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 4 minutes?
If we could get a hold of a debate clock, that would be or a chess clock.
And we have time to discuss this again in March.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to start thinking about it,
Okay.
because I think by the next meeting, we should be having rules put together. So,
Everything's be ready.
and maybe people will give you suggestions that are here or watching.
Sure.
Let's
Absolutely.
take them.
Absolutely.
Whether or not you allow people to sign their minutes to somebody else or not should be stated in the rules. It sounds like Dean would prefer not, so we'll just talk about that. And then the police presence, which I appreciate Nate doing that, and microphone and podium.
Well, I think one thing that would make it work better, I think, is if for the lake folks, if the lake associations could kind of carry the water and have them, they could have some. If someone was speaking on behalf of half of the group, perhaps it would be giving them more time,
I'd agree.
and then it gives a better feedback instead of just willy nilly. Everybody is talking. One person represents them and has it,
Yeah.
concise. And,
How long would you give them then?
I mean, you could give them 5 minutes.
They could even do that too as well,
Mhm.
because they're not gonna tally everything, it's just say, this is the, well, we can discuss that
If
later.
they're
dilemma-
talking for a number of people, I would say 5 minutes.
Yeah, the dilemma is always though, and you know this, somebody says, I'm here on behalf of Whitmer Lake. And they speak for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden somebody shows up from Whitmer Lake and wants to speak too. Well, I mean, you can't not let them speak.
Does
So
it, every lake have their own association?
they do, plus there's a 5 Lakes Association, which
Yeah.
shouldn't, I mean, they could
If
come.
every lake association, we tell them that they have a representative, we'll let them talk 5 minutes.
Fine.
Okay.
That's what I
Out
would
of
say.
the 5 lakes, though, we only service 2.5. So it would just
Half
be
an hour.
3 out. Well,
All right, it's still,
with Dallas, Whitmer, and
So
Westwood.
you could have Whitmer, Westler, Dallas, and the 5 Lakes Association. You could have 4 groups,
okay.
in theory speaking.
in the 5 minutes, that's not bad.
No, that's 20 minutes. I mean, if they actually kept that and you were able to keep them to that, that's great.
Could we make it a part of our rules that there would be some, like, decorum, like, you can't get up there and just cuss us out?
Yes.
And,
We can. And the good thing is, and I hope anybody who's watching this will hear it too, that you can, there are, and we will, yes, is the answer, and I will come up with some of that. Because at some point, whoever is running the meeting, you know, he's gonna give them notice, and if they're breaching the peace, they can be removed by the police, for breach of peace.
but there's such a big thing with freedom of speech.
Freedom of
that
speech
you
doesn't
have to-
allow people to breach the peace, so there is a difference, and that's what's going on in many.
Yeah, when you step on other people's liberties, that's where the line
Yeah,
is.
you got it. So,
Yeah.
great point. I will work on decorum rules that are,
Okay,
you know, professional, yada, yada,
yeah,
yada.
they'd be helpful.
And then if we do see people violating that, we have the ability to give notice. I think it's 2 or 3 times, 2 times, and then the 3rd time, you can remove them.
And you can have someone that speaks very calmly, very normally, and they can use some very colorful language.
Yep.
And that's something you may just have to eat.
I will work on that piece, that component. Hopefully, people will be reasonable, but you're right, you never know. We see a lot going on nowadays.
Do we know who's the president of these associations so we
I
can
don't.
contact them
I
and tell them? Do you guys know?
You can go online and find that out.
Well,
It's
we
pretty
need to
readily
find that out.
Particularly communicate with them directly about that.
Yeah, if you wanna do that. Okay, so we got time to think about it. I will work on getting a draft, which will have lots of holes in it to Heidi, for what a rules sheet would look like.
So perhaps there'll be feedback from tonight's meeting from online to.
Yeah.
People might have some ideas too we can consider.
And then we'll consider adopting the rules at your March meeting.
Okay,
Does that sound okay?
that sounds good.
So, yes, please, anybody that wants to, give us thoughts.
Yep.
And then the key
Because
is,
we're kind of holding it together.
yeah, and I know this is easy for me to say, harder to do. The key is, if you're gonna adopt rules, you've gotta make people follow. And it's hard, because, you know, they're your friends, and you're gonna basically cut them off.
Yeah.
And they won't comply because it goes fast. They don't realize how fast 2 minutes can go, and they wanna
Well,
talk about their feelings.
The meetings I've been in, the clock was visible to the
That'd
speaker.
be great.
That's what helps. It like nice large letters, they can see it counting down, and then it'll have a little alarm at the end.
I can check with Sam on that. If not, we can look on Amazon.
Amazon will get them cheap, I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for letting me go on and on about that. I just thought we have time. It's good to get some input, and so that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you.
Yes, my pleasure.
This is your copy.
This is for me? Okay. I'm actually gonna give it to Heidi, because she's gonna give me copies. Thank you. So the last thing, is just to update you, and I didn't get a chance to see Jeff, so that's your copy. You all have a copy. I believe you will.
Yes.
Jordan, okay. So, we had our trial on the 202 North 2nd Street property in Wolcottville. And we were very fortunate to have been successful in that trial. And we got a judgment from the court, which I've given to all of you. And of course, it's available for public inspection
people wanna come and see it. And I won't go into all the details because you can read it, but basically, the long story short is, the judge ordered the demolition of the property within 90 days from the date of the order. The date of the order, is January 30, so you can pretty much figure what that is. And the court also, awarded $3,902.50 in attorney's fees, plus all court costs and filing fees. So what that means is that the LaGrange County Health Department was successful in getting a court order to force the demolition of the property. The property owner has 90 days to do it themselves, and if they don't, then the county can do it for them. And what does that look like? We don't know yet, but what it really looks like is that if the property owner doesn't do it, doesn't comply with the order, and the county is intending to go in and do it themselves, they'll seek your input on all that because it's a big undertaking. And of course, in all of that, to try to shore up their position, the county had us file a lis pendens notice. Lis pendens really just means there's a lien pending, and that's a big deal because that means they can't sell the property out from underneath this court order. So there's actually a filed notice that goes on the title. It encumbers the title so that the title to the property can't be transferred. I mean, they could always go sign a quitclaim deed and not tell anybody, but it's all subject to this. So if they were to try to do that, it would be subject to this court order. So the buyer would inherit this order and all the things that go along with it. So it would be really a bad move for anybody to try to transfer this property. So just wanted you to know that you have copies of all that. We'll sit back and wait for 90 days and see what happens. Oh, actually, yeah, less than that now. But hopefully he'll do the right thing and tear it down, but he has proven not to do the right thing in everything else we've done. So I would suspect it won't get taken care of, and so the county will have to get involved and do that. And at some point, what that looks like then is we did a title search and we're able to confirm that our lien is in first place, meaning the county's lien. So that's good. That means if we have to, we can foreclose on the lien and take the property. So there's 2 steps. One, try to get it torn down. And if he doesn't do it, the county will have to invest in doing that. They'll obviously want to talk to you about what that looks like. And then the second component is once it is torn down and cleaned up, pursuing and foreclosing on the lien of this pending notice to acquire title of the property. Of course, the property owner can, if they want to, once again, do the right thing, they can clean it, tear it down, and comply with the order, and they can get it free and clear after they paid off the attorney's fees and the other court costs and things that are on that. Or they can deed the property over now to either the county or the town. I'm sure the county would consent to that, subject to this being resolved and getting it addressed. So we haven't heard anything from Mr. Jordan or his lawyer since this. So I don't know what they're planning, if anything, but I do know this, that we can all be very thankful, I think, that we've made significant progress, even though you can't see it physically, from a legal perspective, and thanks to the court. Of course, thanks to Dr. Conway. If it wasn't for him, he's the one that convinced the county to initiate this proceeding. Of course, we're thankful to the county commissioners and the council for spending the money to do it. And then, interestingly enough, one of the key people testifying who did an excellent job was your previous code enforcement officer and board member that you had, Jason Boggs. Jason was, his testimony was crucial to us being successful. And so for what it's worth, I just want to publicly recognize him for that. I know you've had other issues with him over the past, but in this particular case, he did a great job. So,
And I appreciate that.
I don't have anything else really to tell you. I'm finished. I just wanted you to know that I thought it's a good note.
Okay, you brought up a comment about what would we do with the property if we got it. So if you guys got any ideas, right, bring it to us the next meeting or whatever.
Okay.
He said, the county said there was room, there could be 5 lots in it.
Well, and we need more multifamily housing too, so that should be a
And
consideration.
when you mean like apartments?
Yeah.
Or not
Yeah.
duplexes or, okay,
Yeah.
just trying to understand. That helps.
Because what's available now isn't even bottom rung.
Okay.
And people deserve more than that.
Yeah.
So I think that should be a consideration to all of that.
Well, and I don't know, I mean, there's other developers around, you've got Paul,
Oh, yeah.
Yoder, you've got Jerry, Rayburn, maybe you can talk to those kind of gentlemen and let them know it's coming. Either Jordan's gonna clean it up and it's gonna be wonderful, or at some point, the county or you are gonna be in a position, or both of you, to do that.
Sure.
And we're gonna need help, so.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's,
Okay, good.
5 years in the making, too long.
Wait.
So,
That's good to have.
That's all I
Okay,
have.
do that.
I'm finished, thank you.
Thanks, Kurt.
Any other business? Yes.
Did we get anywhere with that, range agreement?
The what?
The range agreement?
Oh, they approved it, we sent it to Rome City, no, I've never heard anything back.
Okay.
So maybe you can bug them. I sent it to Everhard the day after that meeting in
That was a
December.
while back.
Oh,
Yeah.
December, it was in December, I literally, the next day, I sent it to him and said, get us a copy. So please bother them, it's in their ballpark, yeah. They've approved it, they've signed it.
I didn't know if you had it back.
No, I don't have it back,
I'll-
thank you for
I'll check.
asking. I completely forgot about it. So,
Anybody else got anything? Jeff, Steve, Heidi, anything else? Nothing else? I'll call the meeting adjourned.
Good job.
So I, this is